30th of January 2014. She presented with the chief complaints of fever on and off for 4 months, swelling of face and legs 2.5 months, decreased urination 2.5 months. History of present illness. Patient was apparently asymptomatic 4 months back. When she presented with the history of fever on and off for 4 months, which was moderate degree 99 to 100 degree Fahrenheit, associated with headache. It was not associated with chills and rigors, sore throat, joint pain, cough, hemoptysis, rashes, or any shortness of breath. Patient also presented with the swelling of face and lower limbs 2.5 months back. She first noticed the puffiness of face followed by lower limbs. She also complained of floaty urine at that time for 15 days, which was followed by scanty urination for around 7 days, and then she developed complete anemia. Coming to the past history, patient is not known to be suffering from any major illness in the past. There is no history of diabetes, hypertension, tuberculosis, or jaundice. Personal history. Patient is married, have 2 children. She is mixed vegetarian by diet. There is no history of addiction given by the patient. Family history. None of the family member is known to be suffering from any major illness. Coming to the menstrual history, she attained menarche at the age of 14. Patient's menstrual cycles were completely regular around 4 months back. It was around 30 days cycle, normal flow. But for last 3 months, there is no menstrual flow. Treatment history. She has been taking analgesics on and off for last 4 months, and for now she is under treatment in our hospital. On examination, patient is conscious, oriented, weight 68 kg, height 5'3". Patient puffiness is present, moderate pallor present, BP 160 by 100 mm of mercury in right upper arm supine position. Pulse rate 92 per minute, regular. Respiratory rate 16 per minute, thoracoabdominal. Bilateral pitting fatal edema present. On systemic examination, chest bilateral vesicular breath sound present, chest was clear, no added sound present. CVS S1 S2 normally heard, no added sound or murmur present. CNS intact, her abdomen soft, no organomegaly. Coming to the investigations, hemoglobin 7.6 gram%, total count 5,400, differential count polymorph 73, lymphocytes 80, eosinophils 4, and monocytes 05. ESR 110, platelet count 71,000, urea 101, creatinine 8.6. Serum sodium 128, serum potassium 4.6, serum calcium 7.7, uric acid 6.9, LFT and lipid profile within normal limit, thyroid profile within normal limit, bleeding time 2.30 seconds, clotting time 4.00 seconds. P time with INR was 1. Routine urine and microscopic examination of urine. Sugar nil, albumin present, plenty of RBC-C, RBC-Cas present, regular Cas present. 24-hour urine protein 0.5 gram per 24 hours. Chest X-ray PA view, increased bronchovascular markings are seen, and a jugular catheter can be seen. USG whole abdomen. Right kidney measures 12.13 cm, left kidney 12.46 cm. Normal size of flow is maintained, but bilateral corticomedullary differentiation is reduced. Feed fluid noted in pouch of Douglas. Blood urea and creatinine were found to be raised. An increasing trend was seen and hemoglobin decreased on admission. The patient was put on hemodialysis as patient developed symptoms of azotemia on 1st of February. Condition of the patient stabilized on hemodialysis, although the renal parameters are persistently elevated. This is a chart showing the persistent elevated urea, creatinine, and hemoglobin was consistently decreasing. Patient also developed hemoptysis and severe respiratory distress just after 7 days of starting the hemodialysis. Crevitations were present on auscultation. Patient was immediately shifted to ICU, and she was then treated with injectable steroids, which was then gradually tapered to tablet form. The condition of the patient stabilized. ANA was positive, anti-dsDNA, C-ANCA and P-ANCA negative, ECG within normal limit, echo mild TR was present, pulmonary artery pressure 30 mm of mercury, left ventricular ejection fraction 69%. Blood group of the patient O positive, HBS antigen, HIV and LCV non-reactive. Provisional diagnosis we considered in our case was rapidly progressive glomerulonephritis. positive small vessel vasculitis and ANCA negative vasculitis. In ANCA positive vasculitis, vaginal granulomatosis, Church-Strauss syndrome, and microscopic polyangiitis. ANCA negative anti-GTM nephritis, SLE, cryoglobulinemia, and HS purpura.
ये प्रोविजनल डायग्नोसिस में पॉइंट्स फेवर पॉइंट एगनेस्ट डिस्कस करो बैक जाके व्हाट आर पॉइंट्स यू आर थिंकिंग हाँ व्हाई यू आर सो मेनी एंड व्हाट इज द पॉइंट एगनेस्ट और पॉइंट पॉजिटिव फॉर ईच डायग्नोसिस
After finishing the case,
अच्छा
on kidney biopsy, microscopic examination, multiple serial sections on staining shows 12 glomeruli. Glomeruli, all of them shows fibrous crescents. Basement membrane of these glomeruli are single contour and ruptured at few places. Diffuse shows evidence of moderate issue, degree of acute tubular injury. Interstitial, there is scattered lymphocyte infiltrates. In vessels, no features of vasculitis are seen. Immunofluorescence shows six viral glomeruli, all showed crescents, strong linear positivity along capillary walls with IgG 3+. So, kidney biopsy reveals crescentic glomerulonephritis, sclerotic base, secondary to anti-GTM nephritis. Anti-GTM IgG titer was done, which was found to be more than 300 units per ml. It is said to be positive when it is more than 18 units per ml. So, to summarize my case, a 33-year-old female, fever of 4 months, swelling of face and legs, scanty urination with hemoptysis. On examination, failure present and bilateral edema. DNA was positive, anti-DSDNA negative, P-ANCA negative, C-ANCA negative, microscopic hematuria, proteinuria, and bilateral renal parenchymal disease on USG whole abdomen. With kidney biopsy and anti-GTM IgG findings, confirmed our case as anti-GTM nephritis or Wood-Baxter syndrome. On treatment, the patient is currently on maintenance hemodialysis, antihypertensives. During the course of stay in hospital, she is treated with steroids, blood